Thank you so much for staying on the AM show. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority on October 1, 2022 deployed the Certified Invoicing System, commonly referred to as E-VAT. Now, this is per Value Added Tax Act 870 as amended. The E-VAT certifies every invoice issued by taxpayers in real time or near real time for revenue assurance purposes. Once again, Mr. Dominic Nab, Assistant Commissioner at the Office of the Commissioner General, is in studio, at this time with Philip Aqua, the project lead of E-VAT. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good to have you back, Mr. Nab.
Thank you very much.
So let's start off with the basics. What is the E-VAT? Let me start with you, lead project.
So E-VAT, just as the term implies, is that it's an electronic invoicing system. So basically what we're doing is, I have a copy of the manual booklet here.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're replacing the manual booklet with an electronic invoice, in an electronic version. So basically now when you issue invoice, you'll be issuing from an invoicing system rather than writing the manual book.
Okay.
So that's basically the snapshot and the synopsis of it.
Which means that such people should have computers.
Yes.
They should have a software.
Yes.
And because I have been to some of these big companies that do a lot of wholesaling, and this is the receipts that I get, which means that when you as GRA come, whatever they write here, permit me please.
Yes.
So what they write here, right, reflects
Correct.
on the next page.
Correct.
They rip this off, they give this to me.
Yep.
And they keep this as evidence, right?
Correct.
So they don't need the computer and all that. But why is this important, even though it's going to give them more cost? Because if I'm a company owner and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm not ready to buy a computer. I'm not ready to purchase a software. Why are you giving me additional costs?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at the manual system, writing out a receipt is actually a waste of time. So GRA, for us, we are looking at how to actually improve efficiency. So we have a research department that looks at ways by which we can actually improve upon our systems. And we think that most of our activities can be done digitally. And one is this E-VAT. Let me just say that it is not a new tax.
Right.
It is just the manual processes that we have been doing, issuing VAT. That's what we are converting into the digital platform.
Yeah.
With this manual system, as we have it currently, there have been a lot of abuses.
Okay.
I.e. cloning, where they are duplicated. You get it. It's very easy to duplicate it. Is that okay? Then some also use the carding system. They make sure that...
Because the pages have codes, there's a...
Oh, no, it can be done. Yeah. That one can be done easily. That's the reason for which we have changed to a system where it will be very difficult to duplicate. This one, there are a lot in town. So yes, very, very fake. They issue them out, the monies don't get accounted. But remember, when it comes to VAT, it is consumption expenditure tax. It is the consumer who pays the tax, not the seller. The seller only acts as a conduit to collect the taxes, for Ghana Revenue Authority. So can you imagine you pay VAT, hoping that the VAT would actually be used to generate, create some kind of employment and developmental projects all around you. And it doesn't happen just because an individual is using it to better their lives. You get it? Then we have the carding system where they put a card in. Yeah. Is that okay? The figure they want to record to GRA is what they write. Is that okay? So here they will write the correct amount to the taxpayer. But when it comes to the duplicate, then they change the number.
The amount. So the VAT on it is lesser than what they had written. Okay. And they will keep the difference between what they collected and what
so it ends up in their pockets.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, beyond that, we are also looking at a situation where we are going to actually improve upon what we call the refund systems. The VAT works with what we call an input-output mechanism, where your input tax that you pay on VAT is refunded, it's deducted from the output. The difference is what you pay. In some cases, they get refund. Now, with this system, we are able to see it real time, how much actually we owe you and how much can actually be given to you. So it is better, with this system, because at the end of the day, we don't have to even go and do any audit. We can sit in the comfort of our offices and be able to determine how much is due you. You get it. And then again, when it comes to even reporting by the taxpayer, it is very easy to just pick the information from the data and report to GRA.
Yeah.
Again, it is also possible that you can even lose your data as a taxpayer. When you come to our office, we can easily retrieve it. Exactly.
But
so,
if this gets burnt or...
Exactly, yeah.
That ends the story.
In the flat.
You get it.
Right.
That ends the story. So actually, we are looking at a benefit for both GRA and for the taxpayer as well.
Right. Philip, I hear you're rolling the phases.
Yes.
Help us understand.
All right, so we identified 50 taxpayers for the first phase, the initial phase of the project, and they cut across different sectors. So we identified some from commerce, manufacturing, and service. And we've rolled out currently to about 27 of them that are live, currently operating and issuing invoices. The remaining are different and varying stages of the integration. And so the plan is by end of 2024, would have rolled out to all VAT registered taxpayers in the country.
Right, by the end of 2024?
Yes.
Which is 2 years
2
away.
years away, yeah.
Right.
Because we have a wide taxpayer population.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do people come up to you to apply for this? How exactly does the process work?
So we have a 3-stage process, and we'll give the contact numbers later on. So the first thing we're doing is we are rolling out in phases, and we've identified taxpayers based on sectors. So we identify those taxpayers, and then we invite them to a workshop. We sensitize them on this on how the system works, and then we engage them by appointing relations mandate for each and every single taxpayer. So, and then we start the onboarding process. Do you have the human resource for that?
We do.
Wow.
We do, because the entire integration process doesn't take long. So within 2-3 days, you should have been onboarded onto the system. Then the relationship manager can move on to another taxpayer. So once we finish the first phase, we move on to the next phase, which is the medium-sized taxpayers. And then after that, we go to the the small and all other taxpayers as well. And that we are hoping to finish by end of 2024.
All right, so what does this mean? The last time you came, people were supposed to get an application. Is that the same for this one? Do people need an application, or they need you to install a certain software on their devices?
Yeah, there are some taxpayers who already are using their systems. Okay. So that is very easy for us because we are integrating their system into ours. Okay. So the two can actually communicate to each other. Those who do not have, then we provide them what we call the free certified invoicing system. So they can have that one and be able to. But that would require having a mobile phone, a smart mobile phone, a laptop or a desktop, as it were.
Okay, and then they are able to put on the free invoicing software there, and then they can work. Correct. Do they need to scan their products, or they can input manually into the system to give them this beautiful electronic printout that you've brought as an example? Right.
So as he rightly said, if you have your own invoicing system, you will have your stock in there. So the scanning process doesn't change. If you don't have your own info, we provide you with the free invoicing system, then you have to load the inventory into your system. The scanning is just the output, which is where the interface with the customer. So the system that you use will allow you to scan. But the connection to our system basically is seamless, and it allows you to, when you issue the invoice, to connect to our system, which allows you to issue the invoices seamlessly. Yeah. Right.
So, Mr. Nab, you were in Kumasi, or your men are still in Kumasi, in some shops there, invigilating sales, ensuring that they're recording what is being bought so that they can get the right tax for that. I believe this is also to address the same issue. So are we duplicating efforts here?
All right, thank you very much. The invigilation essentially is actually a compliance tool that we have been using over the years, just to ensure that the data that the taxpayers will bring to us at the end of the day actually corroborates what we have. So with the invigilation, we put our staff on the premises of taxpayers. They don't interfere in any activity of the taxpayer. They stand aside. When you buy, you make your payments. When you are going, then they call you, pick the data. And then at the end of the day, they are able to reconcile. Now, the data that is picked, we use it to assess you against the declaration that you are going to make. Now, when it comes to VAT collected in a particular month is accounted for on or before the last working day of the following month. So, for example, we are in October. So, all VAT charged for this month will be accounted for on or before the last working day of November. So, that is what it is. But again, it is not only Kumasi. In fact, we are all over the place. Okay. Just trying to see how compliant our taxpayers are. Now, permit me, with your kind indulgence, to just share with you some data that we have. In Accra, just pub and restaurants, in a particular month, I mean, in fact, I wouldn't share the name with you. The name, of course. Yeah, exactly. In June, what was actually accounted for was 755,000. Okay. In July was 800,000. Okay. In August was 1.1 million. Okay. In September, when our men and women went to do the invigilation, what we are hoping they would come and account to us is 2.8 million. Which is almost 3 million. Exactly. So more than 100% increase. You get it. Then you come to a Chinese restaurant, 145,000. In June, in July, 44,000. Yes, no, 145. In July, it came to, it shot up to 154. Then in August, 171. Then in September, 551,000. Are you getting it? Yeah. We are not saying that they have done anything wrong. That's not what we are saying. We have this information, are you getting it, from our invigilation exercise. We are hoping that when they come to actually account for us, these are the numbers that they should account for us. If they are unable to account, then there's something wrong. Okay. So let me just say that it is not a new thing that we are doing. It is something that we have been doing over the years, just to ensure that our VAT is protected. As I said earlier, when it comes to VAT, it is a consumer who is paying. The seller is only acting as a conduit to collect the VAT for us. Now, if you don't account for the VAT, what it means is that you are shortchanging the nation. So the very development that you are crying for cannot come because the money that is supposed to actually be used for that is what you are keeping.
So assuming that based on this data, these people in June, July, August shortchanged the system, then it means that the system in itself is not foolproof enough.
Exactly.
There's a missing link.
Exactly. That's the reason for which we are migrating to the electronic system. With this one, you can't do that. Yeah. This one has features that you cannot actually, in fact, you can't duplicate the receipts. Yeah. Is that okay? We have a way of verifying. Indeed, Commissioner General wants to actually have control over the issuers. So he has a signature that will be provided based on the linkage. So there's no way you can actually duplicate this one. And there's no way there will be any shortchange. Right. If for any reason you don't issue or we see some kind of aberration, then what we will do is that we'll just send our men to your premises to check what is happening. Yeah, otherwise call the invigilation.
Correct. Correct. And then to add to that, with this system, whatever invoices that you're issuing in real time and near real time, GRA actually sees those invoices that you're issuing. So there's no way that we will have any discrepancy as to what you have and what GRA has. Because your system is connected to Commissioner General's system. Every invoice that you issue through your till or through your sales point, Commissioner General sees it. All right. So there's no argument as to I've made sales of this much and then we're saying you've made sales of this.
I'm sure prior to this, those who initiated the earlier systems also were quite confident that they were going to seal the loopholes and generate enough revenue or mobilize enough revenue for us as a country. But we know how people get in these spaces. There are people who always want to find a way to beat the system. So for me as a taxpayer who goes to buy that item and pays VAT on it, I should also be concerned and vigilant. How do I ensure that the receipt being given me is genuine and I'm not being served from a different machine which will, you get me, you get what I don't want to give people ideas, no, but you know what I mean, then transfer and then move items and all that. Yes. How do I determine that I'm receiving
very good question, very good. So I'll give you a copy of this. All right. If you have QR code on your, if you have QR code scanner on your phone, you can basically scan it. Okay. And when you scan the QR code, it will show you, a pop-up will come and it will show you a copy of this invoice and will indicate verified. Okay. And if it's not verified,
It means that I'm being issued a fake invoice. All right.
Just demonstrate it.
So let me just demonstrate it quickly. So I'm just going to scan this right here.
All right.
So right here.
First of all, show that there's nothing before.
Yep. Okay. So let's do it this way.
Yep.
If you don't mind.
Yep.
So this is what we are talking about. Let me just do this way. All right. So this is the QR code we are talking about here. So if you go to any shop and you are issued an electronic invoice or an E-VAT invoice, you should first of all see a QR code. Then what you do is that you should have that application on your phone.
Just a normal QR code.
It's a any QR code scanner. All right, so let me just show your phone to, there's nothing on the screen you can see, it's just showing my own image. So I will scan it this way. There, all right, it's not.
Just wait for a few seconds.
All right, okay. So it quickly takes you to a different portal. And then you track invoice, seller, buyer, you can see details, and there you have it there, verified. So that's how you can also ensure that the shops you're buying from are not shortchanging government and are doing the right thing. This is very interesting.
Thank you.
All right, so that is just for you as a consumer to also help the GRA and government mobilize enough revenue. So this will be issued to us normally, just like we go and we just buy, and then once you exchange money, this is what you should get.
Correct.
So you need to insist on getting your invoice if you go to purchase anything. Because
and then I would like to add to that. We will be introducing a raffle program as well, so that we encourage consumers who purchase from taxpayers who have VAT taxpayers who are onboarded onto the E-VAT system, so that they will have the opportunity to win prizes when they scan and they verify the invoices.
All right, and this is all in a bid to get the government more money.
Correct.
To embark on the projects that it says it will embark on. So how do I, as a business, request to voluntarily join the E-VAT system?
Yeah, so I mean, as he rightly pointed out earlier, we have a timeline that we are working with, but if for any reason you want to actually get connected to our system, we have a dedicated staff who would actually help you be able to do that easily. So
we will put out the number shortly for you to call, but are there any penalties? I know you said you're rolling this out in phases, but if by the deadline people have not migrated onto the E-VAT system or integrated it into their systems, are there any penalties to some?
No, the fact of the matter is that if you are a VAT registered person, you are supposed to issue the manual.
Yeah.
Now we are migrating the manual to the electronic. If you don't, that is actually an offense against the nation for which you are going to actually be punished. Some are where you have to pay some monies. In some cases, too, where you have to actually be jailed, or both. Is that okay? But we don't just want to get there. In fact, we have taxpayers who are actually very compliant when it comes to some of these things. And I don't think that would ever get there.
So with the book, I see that there is at least something here, the GRA, to indicate that this is coming from you. It is certified. But for the electronic system, we need to go onto our phones and scan, and then we get the verified. What do I do if I don't see that verified? There
will be a pop-up that will ask you to enter some few details, the taxpayer that issue that invoice, and your phone number. Okay. And then we'll pick it up from there.
All right.
But either way, whether the invoice is verified or not, the raffle program that we talked about, you will be entered into the raffle program.
All right. But it means that I'll need to input the name of the shop, and then GRA officials will follow up. And then you know.
We'll just get the information out there, and then quickly we'll follow up from there.
All right. So contacts for enquiries and other, complaints.
So you can share it.
So taxpayers or those who want to contact us can contact us on 0800 900 110. And we have general contact center numbers as well, 020 926 7047, 020 926 7048, 020 926 7049. And then you can also contact us on our WhatsApp number, 055 299 0000, 055 299 0000.
Right, and I want to believe that once we fully migrate to the electronic system, you stop producing this as well.
Exactly.
All right. Well, what if there are some in the system, and you know how these things happen? Maybe somebody will say, I have the system, it's giving me problems, so I did it partially. What do I do if the system is down and I have a booklet?
As soon as you are migrated, all these ones will be retrieved from you.
Will be retrieved?
Yes, because you can't use them.
But what if the system fails?
The system, okay, well, the project lead.
Because, you know, I'm dealing with an ECG problem currently.
Right.
When the system had a disturbance, it looks like everything has gone haywire.
Right.
So once you're scrapping the manual system altogether, what happens?
No, that's a very
glitch?
good question. In fact, what we've done is we envisage that this will happen, right? That there could be the possibility that taxpayers' system will go down or our system will go down. So what we've done is we have allowed taxpayers to operate offline.
Okay.
Right, and still be connected to the GRA system.
Great.
So that on a 24-hour basis, they can operate without going online, even if their system is down, right? And then when they reconnect all the data that they've basically they have and loaded onto their system will then be sent to Commissioner General. So that's the provision that we've made to allow for those taxpayers whose system goes down.
Right. So if you have any questions, any enquiries, any complaints, do reach out to the GRA on the numbers that have been advertised. Well, Dominic Knapp, Assistant Commissioner at the Office of the Commissioner General, thank you once again for joining us, and Philip Aqua, Project Lead, E-VAT. Well, I'm sure we will be seeing you here again for more introduction on what the GRA is doing to help revenue mobilization. But next on the show, we'll be talking to Ace Medical Insurance and Z&Z Limited. They were part of our broadcast sponsors for the just ended National Science and Maths quiz. I know the school Mr. Nab went to go to. Philip, what did you go to?
At St. John's.
High school. St. John's. St. John's?
Yes.
St. John's is in Takoradi?
Yes, in Takoradi, that's
okay.
right.
Did you feature this time?
I think we did, but we...
All right, better luck next time. Well, do stay with us. We'll be back.